She's so smart. She's so good at it. Okay, congrats, Mina. We'll be watching, and we're rooting for you, obviously, as well. To end the show, the Bucks, we know this. They have said that they are open to trading Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now it just feels like an inevitable situation. Very unlikely he stays in Milwaukee, although still a possibility. What team should be open to trading right now for Giannis? Are the Celtics the best fit there, Perk?
You're damn right it is, for Jaylen Brown. And that's all basically you're going to have to give up because he make a lot of money. Can you imagine Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Eastern Conference in Celtic Green? They would be the best duo in the East. And what we saw from Jason Tatum when he returned from injury, is that he's ready to be that point forward. Because, yes, he could score. We saw the rebounds, but we also saw the assists. And I heard he did an interview yesterday with somebody else, not Jaylen Brown. He did an interview, and he said he want to win another championship and another Finals MVP.
And a Finals MVP because he didn't win the Finals.
Yeah. So, Boston, Brad Stevens, pick up the phone.
Yeah, I don't know why Milwaukee would make that trade for Brown. I mean, they need younger players and draft picks. Getting Jaylen Brown, they win 42 games. He'll play great, but they're going to be in purgatory. They won't be they'll be in playing games.
Well, you want to get him with assets.
I got to get some draft picks. How about Dylan Harper and a couple picks from the Spurs? Something along those lines. You know, I'm not saying that's the trade, but they need younger players, draft picks who they can build around in the future. Not a guy who's 31, 32 years of age who's got 5 years left in the NBA where they're not going to do anything. So I don't like the trade for them.
Giannis, you want an all-star. You want a guy that's capable of coming up there and giving you some numbers. But you also want a couple of young pieces, a couple of picks, that kind of thing. It's going to take more than just Jaylen Brown to get Giannis Antetokounmpo. We understand that. But if you are the Milwaukee Bucks, you have to move in a different direction. And if you're the Boston Celtics, you most certainly have. It can't be live by the three, die by the three. You have to have some level of versatility, some kind of interior presence as well to complement Jason Tatum and not put that load on him as well. I think you have to look at it from that standpoint.
I'm going to tell you another.
Just to clarify, though, Jason Tatum said those things before the playoffs started. Okay,
but let me tell you something. Let me tell you another team. Minnesota falls short. If I'm Minnesota, I'm going after Giannis. You got to find a way to keep Anthony Edwards happy.
That's right.
Like, he can't continue to keep doing his part, and the others around him are not getting it done.
He needs help.
And on top of that, don't let Karl Anthony Towns get to the promised land before him and win the NBA championship after they traded him. The Heat is really going to be on.
Because you have to remember, as you watch Wemby do what he does, Karl Anthony Towns would clearly have been a better fit for Minnesota than Julius Randle. Now, defensive Minnesota, Wemby wasn't here yet. You know, you didn't know this was going to be like this. But the point is, Karl Anthony Towns complimenting Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert would have been much better against San Antonio than what we're seeing.
But that was the financial thing, too, right? Because Randle was making less money than Karl Anthony Towns was. Wasn't that part of the deal with the reason they made that trade?
I mean, it has something to do with it, but still, no. If he delivered, he deserved to get.
bucket went in, and he landed in the front row. Emerging from the fans, pounding his chest, the Warriors now up 3. Down on the other end, Draymond muscled Kawhi Leonard, and as an inbounds pass lobbed in the air towards Leonard, Green swatted it away. The Warriors scored, and soon the clock hit zeros. The team came running, laughing, screaming into the locker room. For one night, we're us, Kerr said. We're champions again. An assistant with a stat sheet said they'd only led for 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Everyone laughed and tried to stay in the moment. Steve looked over at me and spoke quietly, almost a whisper. "I'm not leaving," he said.
Kendrick Perkins didn't leave. He's back with us now. Perk, you know Steve Kerr and the Warriors go way back like full flats on a Cadillac. 2 more years on his contract will make it 14 with the organization. So what do you want to see them do this offseason to give the team another chance at a long postseason run?
Well, the first thing that came to mind is that Steph Curry is going to retire in a Golden State uniform because he wanted Steve Kerr back. That's the only coach he wanted to play for. That's first thing first. Now, with that being said, when you have Steph Curry on your roster, the only thing that's on their mind is trying to win another championship. And the only way that you could do that is by unsaying your roster, upgrading, right? Going and get some pieces that's going to fit. And Scooby, when you think about it, what's available out there? What's the most important position in today's game? An elite two-way player. Right, we see OG Anunoby, what he's brought to the New York Knicks. We're watching the Thunder have a team full of those guys. Same with the San Antonio Spurs. Kawhi Leonard is that guy. Kawhi Leonard right now for the Clippers, they have no hope at winning the championship. If I'm the Warriors, I'm looking at what Kawhi did last season, having his best career season offensively and playing over 60-plus games. I'll try to go out, make an offer, and bring Kawhi to Golden State to pair alongside Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler because we don't know what Jimmy's going to look like, especially coming off an ACL injury. Anytime you have Steph Curry available and he's on your roster, you got to continue to go out there and try to land a big fish to bring alongside of him so he can be able to compete in a tough Western Conference to bring home another championship.
Well, let's Beyonce this segment and play a game of dribble, pass, shoot. I'll give you a statement. If you agree, it's shoot. If you disagree, it's pass. If you need to think about it a little bit more, it's dribble. So first, the Warriors are the best landing spot for Giannis. Dribble, pass, or shoot?
Ooh, I gotta pass on this one because Giannis could go a lot of places, right? Golden State is not the best landing spot for him, in my opinion. The best landing spot for him is either Minnesota with Anthony Edwards or the Celtics with Jason Tatum. Giannis on either one of those rosters upgrade.
Let's slow this down for a second, because the Jaylen Brown to Warriors conversation is not just about fantasy. It is about reality. It is about money. Let's slow this down for a second, because the Jaylen Brown to Warriors conversation is not just about fantasy. It is about reality. It is about money. It is about timing. It is about what Boston wants, what Golden State can actually offer, and whether Stephen Curry's final championship window is important enough for the Warriors to make a move that could completely reshape the roster. First, the truth. Jaylen Brown is not sitting there as an easy free agent. He is not a simple signing. The Warriors cannot just decide they want him and make it happen overnight. Brown is under a massive contract with the Celtics, and Boston still controls the situation unless Jaylen himself ever pushes for something different, or the Celtics decide the roster needs a major reset. So when fans say, can the Warriors sign Jaylen Brown, the more accurate question is this: can the Warriors trade for him? And that answer is complicated, but not impossible. The appeal is obvious. Brown gives Golden State something it has badly needed: a powerful wing scorer who can create without needing Curry to set the entire table. He can attack closeouts, he can play through contact, he can score in the mid-range. He can finish at the rim, he can guard bigger perimeter players, and most importantly, he does not shrink from big moments. This is a player with championship experience, finals MVP credibility, and the kind of physical profile that fits modern playoff basketball. That matters because the Warriors have been living in a difficult place. Stephen is still great, but every year the margin gets thinner. Draymond's value is tied to defense, leadership, and chemistry, but the offensive limitations are always part of the conversation. Jimmy Butler gives Golden State toughness, but age and health are real factors. The Warriors need someone who can carry real scoring volume without completely destroying the system. Brown checks that box better than almost any realistic superstar name. Now, would he fit perfectly? Not automatically. Golden State's system demands quick decisions, ball movement, spacing, and trust. Brown sometimes plays a more direct, force-based style. He attacks, he isolates, he hunts his shot. But that might not be a problem. In fact, it might be exactly what the Warriors need. They have had plenty of motion. They have had plenty of read and react. What they have lacked at times is a player who can simply say, "Give me the ball, I am getting a bucket." In the playoffs, that matters. Beautiful offense is great until the possession breaks. Brown gives you an answer when the play is dead. The bigger issue is the trade package. Boston would not want spare parts. If Jaylen Brown becomes available, the Celtics will be looking for a serious return. Salary relief, young players, picks, and pieces that help them rebuild or retool around Jason Tatum. Golden State has some assets, but the question is whether they have the best offer. Other teams could offer younger stars, cleaner picks, or more flexible salary. The Warriors would probably have to include a major salary, like Draymond Green or Jimmy Butler, plus young players in draft capital. That is where the debate gets emotional. If Draymond is part of the package, Dub Nation will feel it. That is not just a contract, that is history. That is 4 championships. That is Steph Curry's basketball brother. But the front office cannot only make decisions with nostalgia. At some point, Golden State has to ask what gives Steph the best chance now and what gives the franchise a path after Curry. Jaylen Brown is one of the few players who could do both. He is not just a rental. He is not only a win-now gamble. He could be the next face of the franchise while still helping Steph chase one more ring. That is the argument for making the call, not desperation, direction. The Warriors do not need to chase every big name, but Brown is different because he fits the timeline better than an aging star and offers more present impact than a draft-only plan. He is old enough to be proven, young enough to build around, and strong enough to survive the West. But here is the realistic conclusion. The Warriors can only get Jaylen Brown if 3 things happen. Boston has to become open to moving him, Brown's camp has to be comfortable with a new chapter, and Golden State has to be willing to pay a painful price. Without those 3 things, this stays as a loud rumor and a fun debate. With those 3 things, it becomes one of the biggest Warrior stories of the decade. My opinion, the Warriors should not chase Brown blindly, but they should absolutely monitor the situation. If Boston opens the door, the Warriors need to be ready with a serious offer. Not a fake offer, not a lowball, a real one. Because Steph's window is too important to waste, and Brown is the type of player who could change both the present and the future. So, Dub Nation, what would you do? Would you trade major assets for Jaylen Brown, even if it means saying goodbye to part of the old Warriors core? Or would you protect the young players and picks instead? Comment your answer, leave a like, and subscribe for more Warriors news, rumors, and real NBA discussion.